Okay, so it's a question everybody asks. What's the best editing software to use? Generally, I tell people whichever software works best for you. Now, I know that can kind of sound a little wishy-washy, but it's whatever helps you get the job done in a timely fashion, right? Lately, the question has morphed from what's the best editing software to what's the best editing software for beginners to use. Now, I want to take that last question out of the mix because whether you're a beginner or not, why would you want to start with a software that you can't grow into and then eventually once you outgrow it, you have to go and buy another one? Why not buy one that may be a little bit complicated, but there's help and tutorials out there for it, and then you can grow into it? Makes sense, doesn't it? I don't know. It may just be me. Now let me just give you guys an idea of where I'm coming from. I started learning way back in the early 2000s. We still were taught how to edit from tape to tape. But the first editing software I learned on was Final Cut Pro. I eventually learned Avid and Premiere Pro. And yes, there is a huge list of other editing softwares that are out there. But personally, I find the best editing software for beginners, intermediates, or even experts is Premiere Pro. Now yes, every single software has their pros and cons. For me, what really draws me to Premiere Pro is the workflow. Now I know what you're saying, but I don't use the other programs like After Effects, Photoshop, or Illustrator. You don't use them yet. Which is why Premiere Pro is a fantastic editing software to grow into. With Premiere Pro, you're able to import an After Effects, Photoshop, or Illustrator file without having to export them into a movie, JPEG, or PNG file first. So not only does it save space on your hard drive, it also cuts back on a lot of time. Not sure how many of you have actually used After Effects, but depending on how complicated your composition is, a 10-second clip could take a long time to export. I understand in the beginning you want a software that's easy, something you can jump right into and just get right to editing. But that makes it even harder to learn because you're not really learning much if you're not having any issues, any trouble, anything you need to try and troubleshoot or figure out. You just keep laying down and keep producing the same thing over and over again. So you don't necessarily want to start with the easiest software. I assure you, I do not work for Adobe. I just love After Effects and Premiere Pro that much. If you're still looking for help with editing, please hit me up. My email's in the description below. And if you like what you saw, I'd love if you liked the video. And if you want to subscribe, I'll catch you in the next one.